just jealous. Oh, you're 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 just jealous. Cause we're the BG boys. Yeah. Oh, you're just jealous. 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 Cause we're the BG boys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Some E3 flavor once again. What is this, our third time talking about E3?
Think so. Might be. I mean, I think
over the course of the past 3 years. We've done it the past 3 years, I believe.
Yeah.
So might as well keep the tradition
exactly.
going. Man, let's start with what it ended with. Let's start with Nintendo, man. I mean, they killed it.
Yeah, this was. I think this is the best presentation of the entire E3.
They absolutely killed it. They finally made everybody happy with their new Animal Crossing game.
I mean, in fairness, that was definitely people were losing their minds over that. I was never big into those games, but I know how popular they are. And
well, you like Stardew Valley, isn't it in the realm of that?
I wouldn't call it really the same now. Or Harvest Moon, I wouldn't. It's its own monster at this point.
Okay, very good.
But
yeah, I saw people going nuts over that, and the promise of another Zelda game.
Yeah, that little teaser was nice. I mean, I love the first one, so I knew what this was so many people that even like weren't playing games for a while were like top 5 games like easily. So there was no way they weren't making a sequel.
That won Game of the Year that year, did it not?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. If it didn't, it would be insane, but I'm pretty sure it did.
No, I'm pretty certain, yeah. Because I remember last year was God of War, and then the prior year, I think it was Zelda.
Which
Breath
makes
of the
sense.
Wild.
It earned it. It was definitely deserved. But yeah, that was nice to see that. So I know a lot of happy people once they announced it. So yeah,
dude. I mean, I don't know. Like I said to you earlier, I mean, my timeline was filled with people who were super stoked and I can't wait for that game. And there's some that were just like, "Well, we just want a new Zelda game that's not Breath of the Wild."
I get it, but like, you can't get that like well done and not have them like keep going. Like, why reinvent the wheel if they already have something that's working? So,
well, I mean, they did reinvent the Zelda wheel many times, but it's the same thing.
I feel like the popularity of this is like no other one in the last few years. Definitely not. Like this,
you think it blows everything outside of the water in the Zelda realm?
Games, no question. This blows everything out. Like people bought a Switch for this game. Like, easily.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's what happened. So, I mean, I hear them though. Like, I know you want like every time they do a new Zelda, it is something new, and I'm not gonna say like don't continue with that tradition, but I still think that this was gonna get a sequel. Like, I once I saw it, I was surprised so soon because I figured they were still kind of doing stuff for the original, but I guess it's been a couple years and they're looking ahead. So.
Yeah, man. Luigi's Mansion 3. Did you see this Gooigi thing?
Oh yeah, that was cool. I played the original on the Wii U, and it's a fun party game. Like the mini games that they had were a lot of fun, so I'm expecting more for this one. But yeah, that was pretty wacky with that whole concept.
Dude, it looked like someone. Yeah. Well, not only that, it looks like a fruit snack. But not only that. If you saw, I saw someone put up a GIF of like the goo coming out of Luigi's backpack, and it looked like someone pulled the Matrix cord out of him. He just went limp, like.
Oh yeah. Like when you're controlling the.
It was spooky, you know.
Yeah, and the same thing when you control Luigi again. I think he goes a little limp, like they're almost like in like a trance sitting there.
Yeah, someone tweeted out like, "This makes me feel really uncomfortable." I forget who it is. Forgive me on Twitter, but that was absolutely fantastic.
That's pretty funny,
dude. Fire Emblem, 3 houses.
Yeah, when they first were showing it, I like didn't know where they were going with it. Like they were just introducing all these people, and then like once the style got a little clearer, it was like, oh, a new Fire Emblem game. Like they've just been pumping those out like crazy lately.
They have been. One was a Warriors game,
right? Yes, that. Yeah,
where it was like not exactly a Fire Emblem game. But I think people are excited and their palates are ready for some Fire Emblem on the Switch, right?
I think so. And like the last ones were very popular. I've only heard good things that people are talking about it. So
the animation looks sick. I really like the style. I mean, it's obviously like an anime style, but I don't want to blanket, all anime to be the same style in terms of animation. But it looked awesome, dude. It looked absolutely awesome. And finally, an American version of.
Seiken Densetsu 3?
Yeah.
Secret of Mana 2?
Trials of Mana, they call it.
Trials of Mana is the re-title, I guess. But not just not just getting that. Like they come out with, which is available right now on the store, and I guess a physical copy coming out that for pre-order of the collection. So you get the original Game Boy Final Fantasy Adventure.
Yeah, the Steelbook,
which is technically Seiken Densetsu 1, and then Secret of Mana 1, which is Seiken Densetsu 2, and then Seiken Densetsu 3, the original one that never came to the States. That I'm sure anyone that was a fan played the the patched version for the English translation. The only thing that stinks though is they didn't fix the port. You could do 3-player Secret of Mana, but you could only do 2-player Secret of Mana 2.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, there was a patch.
I didn't catch that. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a patch on the Super Nintendo for the emulator rather that you could make it 3-player because I played that 3-player. But I'm surprised they didn't go the extra mile to just fix that. Like why
But
not?
the only way Americans could have played that game is via emulation.
Right, via a ROM and a ROM patch with the English translation.
So what's interesting now is the translation that they did originally for the English version of that Japanese game. It's totally different now.
Right, it'll be something else completely. But now they're also coming out with like I'm a fan of the retro, and I like that we have that right now if you want to get it. But they're coming out with Trials of Mana on its own, and it's going to be like a standalone 3D action adventure. I'm not sure if they're going to keep up with the because it almost looks like they're going first player with it the way the camera was, but it also looked like they showed some of the boss fight. And it looked like you had party members with you.
It did look different.
I don't know if it's going to be multiplayer or if it's going to be like a weird style of multiplayer. I'm very interested in how it is. Either way, even if it was single player, I'm totally down. Like it looks amazing.
But just to be able to play that game now with an official release after all these years is odd, but I'm glad. And this E3 for me confirmed just the fact that all these companies are really understanding that that gamers in general have an appetite for all these games that we used to play.
Right.
And some of which we never had access to that now we're going to have access to. And remastering of so many games, dude.
That is true.
And how cool was that drop of not only the FF7, but the FF8 remake?
Yeah, that's nice. I'm happy to see that. That's coming out for, I think, everything also for the FF8, the remake. Like they had it for Switch, I think PS4, and I think they're coming out for everything.
It's going to be digital only probably, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, all in all, because I looked online and it looked like I saw a picture for it. Like a box art. I don't know if that was just fake or whatever, but I feel.
I'll believe it when I see it. I hope that's the case, but I can't imagine that'll happen.
I'm pretty sure on my GameFly account I saw FF8, which would mean it would have to be a physical copy for them to be able to send it.
Oh.
I don't know if that's them just I
don't have GameFly. Do they do digital
also,
or it's all physical?
Yeah, it's all physical.
Okay.
So that's why I was like,
so it's like the Blockbuster thing.
Right, exactly. So I'm thinking. Unless they were just projecting and assuming that it's coming out, but I don't know for sure. I really don't know if that's true or not, but I would assume it's digital like the rest of them. But like I said, I did think I see something. I mean, moving on, I feel like we don't have to go into categories if you just want to name some games in general.
Well, the obvious one is going to be Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, I mean we were excited last year.
2077.
But the old Keanu Reeves.
People saw Keanu and lost their minds, dude. I mean, granted, it's cool because this is perfect timing. Because the other dude, I forget the actor's name for Death Stranding.
Oh,
from
Norman Reedus?
Thank you, Norman Reedus. So people are starting to see, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it going forward for these contemporary newer games, especially for the next gen. Of all these actors, I mean, it's been done before, obviously, but now the technology is finally such where you could really take real actors and have them just placed into these worlds and stuff. And it's going to be very interesting.
They already did
going
start.
forward.
I didn't play the game because I think it may have been an Xbox game. The one where they were coinciding. I don't think there was a show with it, but it was almost like a show/game that you were playing. And it was the dude who was Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, and the main character was he was Iceman in the original X-Men movies.
Oh, okay.
That was the main guy, and apparently there's making another game where he's also set to be the main character that escapes me. I'm not sure if I may have seen it during this E3. I kind of forget, to be honest, but So they kind of already did that where they have like some like lead acting people going into the game. It's like them playing themselves. So seeing Keanu doing that, he looks like a great addition though.
Yeah.
Like from what the
looks
lore
like he fits right into all that, the whole game and the feel of it.
Yeah, it sounded like I think he calls you samurai, and I think they're like I was reading some stuff that it seems like he's supposed to play. So I don't know if he's like a rock star or what. It's like Johnny Rocker or something.
Johnny Rocker.
Yeah, it's something bizarre where like I don't know if he has his own lore in the game, but like from what I was reading, it sounded like that was alluding to more things. So it's exciting. I've already pre-ordered that game, so
did you?
Oh yeah, that was like one of the few I did before my.
You see, I'm gonna
Best Buy
start
Gamers
doing that
Club.
more. I was never. That's the thing.
Yeah.
My Gamers Club runs out next year, so all these games basically, I'm gonna have to pre-order if I want that discount up front.
Yeah.
But isn't another either Target or Walmart, one of them, aren't they like selling their games at like almost a 20% discount new?
I don't know.
I think it's
I don't-
Walmart, but
Interesting.
I don't want to be
I'm
misquoted.
gonna have to
but
check that out then. I didn't know that.
we'll have to see. They're finally making a new Borderlands game,
Yeah.
so I know that's a cult following game where
I like the first one, and I think the second one might be free right now on PS4.
it is. Yeah,
So,
this month.
I know a few friends that told me to
I think the
download that.
Handsome Collection or whatever it is.
Yeah. And those are fun games. It's it's a shooter, interesting, wacky style with like different looty guns and stuff. But
Looty.
yeah, it was good because that's the whole thing. Like you constantly get new stuff, so you need to just keep moving on and upgrading your gun. I didn't get a chance to play because I didn't get the Xbox, the other Gears 4, which looked really good, and
Yeah.
you got Gears 5 coming out. The trailer looks a little. Again, I'm now lost in the story because the last thing I think I played was 3.
Well, I'm
maybe.
lost on Xbox in general until
Yeah.
next gen. We'll have to see what happens.
Which sour grapes for us with the. I mean, at least for me, they announced the Fantasy Star Online 2.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
I knew that was going to make a
I'm
lot of
so-
people
I mean, so
both happy and sad because
they didn't officially announce that it's
Exclusive.
exclusive. They kind of hinted or made it seem like it could be, but the weird thing is like it's available for like every other system in Japan, but
right.
not. I don't think it was Xbox in Japan, so I feel like
Well,
they'd be
if
morons
Microsoft can pull that one off, good for them,
yeah.
but
I
not
feel
good
like-
for us.
And not good for Sega. I feel like that's a silly decision. Like you're kind of closing off a huge portion of fans.
I guess the
that would
same
play.
thing could be said about any exclusive for any system.
I guess I don't know. I feel
Right?
like
You're
Sony
boxing,
does a better
you're
job.
boxing a certain amount of people out.
Yeah, I mean it's coming out for the computer also, but I'd rather play it on the system. Like I liked my Dreamcast playing with it, and it's the one game that I really wanted to come over because I liked the original Phantasy Star on the Dreamcast, and just not having this. So we'll see. I'm hoping
That's some
I'm
people's
hoping,
favorite MMO is that game.
I mean, I mean it's really good. I don't know if I would really call that an MMO. Like it
I remember
kind
a buddy
is,
of
but
ours. I
it's-
won't say who right now, but I remember this dude put hundreds, maybe thousands of hours in when we were in high school.
Really?
of
I mean,
the
I
original
put a lot myself
for the
but,
Dreamcast.
Yeah, for the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put in quite a few myself, but and I feel like we played with most of the people, but the online wasn't awesome for a while. Like it worked for a bit, and then it got like stupid.
Right.
I don't remember the reasoning behind it, but yeah. Either way, that's
So
I'm
much
hoping
good
for the
stuff,
best for
though,
that
man.
one.
New Tales game.
New
Are you a
Tales
Tales
game?
guy? Do
No,
you like
I'm
those
not.
games?
I played the original like on the Super Nintendo and stuff, but no, I did not.
Vesperia. I mean, I haven't played them all through, but
Mhm.
I put the most time into Tales of Vesperia. Loved it actually.
Mm.
I enjoyed it. The animation was great. They move you along the story. The pacing
I
is
wasn't
good.
a fan of the battle system. The battle system was what bothered me the most. Like I used to like the way that came, but it evolved to something that I didn't really care for anymore, and that's really my only complaint about it.
Fair enough.
But they did announce they were bringing back I think a few older Tales games, not just those. Like I think Tales of Fantasia 3 they might be releasing, which was an old Super Nintendo one that we never got that like has a huge following.
That's what I'm saying. There's like so
That
much like
one's
retro
retro,
stuff
though.
coming
Yeah,
back.
that one's retro. But then there's also a different Tales that's like a modern take. So that one's interesting. So I mean either way, like I'm a fan of that. I can't wait.
A couple interesting newer things. I mean, you saw the trailer for Outriders,
Oh my
right?
god, yeah, it looks great. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. It's like a 3-man team of murdering the shit out of things, but awesome.
Murdering the shit out of
Yeah.
things. You know what though? I like all of this. You know how I always complain, like, even when they reboot like movie series over and over at nauseum.
Yeah.
You know, Batman and all these different things that you've just seen so many versions of the same thing over and over. I think they're through video games. I think they're telling a lot of new stories now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's what I think is exciting. Even though probably the biggest thing to come out of E3 aside from the Nintendo stuff is probably the Final Fantasy remastered because it's finally happening.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
After all this time. Finally happening. It looks amazing too.
Interesting. Like so a lot of people were a little like wonky because like remember we were already talking about I think like a couple podcasts ago that like we saw that they're gonna basically break it out in installments.
Well, that's the thing. They didn't really present it like that?
No, they did.
They did.
He said it's got the date. This first
how many
game,
installments?
He didn't say.
Okay.
They have not alluded to how many. What they did say though was that this first installment is going to be completely of Midgar.
Okay.
Which originally was only about 5 hours of gameplay into it, and then you were like out into the broad world.
Right.
But apparently they've really expanded on Midgar this time around. So even though it's the remake, they're changing it. So it's like they're adding stuff within the game. So it's like just to beef it up a bit.
It's probably going to be.
He said
two,
it's two
yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
Worth, and it's all Midgar, which you know what, Midgar was always I loved that town in the
beginning,
of course, like that city, I should say. So I'm curious what they're gonna add to it. Is it gonna be like more missions of trying to blow up the reactors, or you know? And I'm interested in seeing more people. Like they finally showed Tifa. I know a lot of people were like raving that they wanted to see her finally, and I'm
looks good to me, man. I mean, it was her, you know.
The Turks, Rufus. Like I'm very excited for like what everyone's gonna look like. It looks like they showed I forget what that one guy is. The one that was always blah, like that.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Do you think people are gonna bitch about the battle system?
I mean, probably a little bit, but at least I like that they're kind of combining the best of both worlds. Like you're getting a live action with an ATB3. I love the freezing of time and spinning around while you're waiting to make your commands. Looks really cool. I'm sorry, like I'm a fan of like cinematic kind of stuff, and there's gonna be a ton of that in this game, like easily. So I just don't know how like the materia and all that kind of stuff's gonna work, and they're already hinting that this is gonna be not loot boxy, but like the I don't know if you saw what they showed as far as the pre-orders. Like each level of pre-order, you get like an additional summon materia, and they're like weird summon. Like the level 1, you got like a cactuar, and level 2, you got like a baby chocobo, which isn't a summon in the original game. Neither was a cactuar.
Interesting.
And then a third one is like something else. I forget what the other one was, but it's like
they're just throwing confetti at you, man.
Like,
that's all they're doing.
The Final Fantasy VII Cloud on the bike.
Did you see that?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool, but like I don't need.
I'm not getting it, but I can see why people would, because some people just collect those statues by themselves.
Right.
And as you know, if you know anything about those like statues, they put so much time into them, and it's just they're gorgeous. A lot of them, and the price tag is such. So
yeah, it's pretty.
So that's why you're getting that. I mean, overall, you could, if they sold the statue separately by itself and they gave it that same exact price, I think that you'd have a good amount of people still pay that.
You definitely would. Like they're limited for a reason, and like I'm sure they sell. I'm just not interested
especially
in that.
This game too.
Yeah. But either way, it's gonna be. I mean, they've been showing enough that I'm re-excited again. So. And that's a May release, right? Like May 3rd, I think it was saying. Dude, or March? No, it was March.
You said March.
Yeah. Everything is March. Every game or not every game, but the majority of E3 games, I feel like had a March release date, which is ridiculous. Like, how many games are you expected to play in this 1 month? All of them, apparently.
Play them all.
I don't have the time. I don't know if it's a specifically exclusive, but you see, just being it's like our retro month that we were claiming. Did you see the new Battletoads? They have a new Battletoads coming out.
I heard about it. I didn't see the trailer for it.
It just looks like a little. It's a different style. It's very cartoony.
Very cartoony.
But it looks cool. It looks like it could still be fun. Like it's 3-player back to the old way, and I don't know. I don't have an Xbox, but I'm hoping it's not just an exclusive for that. But I'm glad they're at least pushing forward with that.
New Minecraft game, Dungeons, really?
Yeah. It's they're kind of expanding on because now they've just did the Dragon Quest builders not too long ago.
That's
which
true.
is like fighting and stuff. So now, I mean, there was always a little bit of fighting, I guess, in the original with those the creeps and stuff. So Now it's just a little bit more.
The
And people love
creeps.
Minecraft. That game is like
They
completely
do, and I
overwhelming.
will never understand why.
I understand why. I just don't want to sink any more time into that. I have other things to do. Like,
Yeah.
because I like playing with Legos, and I feel like once you like playing with Legos, you kind of get this game. Where
Speaking
you're
of
doing this.
Legos, I was playing 2 Lego games with my son the other day.
Oh, nice.
The Lego Force Awakens.
Okay.
We played a little of that. It was actually awesome. And Lego The Hobbit.
Oh,
But I'll
nice.
tell you what, man. My son's 4.5, turning 5. And he's a pretty sharp kid. But you know what? Those games have a lot of intricacies to them and the puzzles and stuff. And if you're not like right on top of the TV, I felt like we were like a good, I don't know, 7-8 feet away from the TV in my bedroom playing this thing. And what you do is you have to switch between characters.
Right.
And as you're doing that, one character does one special thing, another character does something else. So you solve these puzzles. But some of them are not so obvious. And I find myself walking around.
Oh,
So
okay.
I feel like they're garnering everything towards children with that game.
Maybe.
But the actual functioning play of it, whatever. It's still.
They're good games. I've heard nothing but.
They
I
are.
know,
I'm not saying
I
they're
have another
not, but
buddy
it's
that
like
played
not
with
for
his
young kids.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe it's enough for young kids that maybe they pick up on it where we're thinking, maybe it could be like you have the mind of an adult and you're not like realizing the puzzles right.
Either that or I really suck at Lego
I mean,
games.
is
One
that
or the
too?
other.
But I think they're doing there's a whole Lego, I think, or what is it, the old 9 Star Wars games I think they're trying to release on the Lego. So that's something interesting too.
Speaking of Star Wars games, did you see the trailer for the the gameplay trailer for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order?
Oh my god, absolutely, I saw that.
How much fun does that look like, man?
You know what? I did play a little bit of the first Force Unleashed on the 360, and I think I played a little bit of 2 also. Both very fun games. I like that there was like a single player aspect, and you had like all the Force abilities. This looks unbelievable, though. The things that you're doing. Like,
Sick.
Did you check out him freezing the bullet,
Dude,
pulling
yes.
the guy in, and then throwing him into
His own
walking
bullet,
over
yes.
Yeah,
Or it's not a bullet,
insane.
it's a laser.
It's a laser,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Insane.
Insane
like,
is
so
right.
Many crazy
And as you're jumping around the world and stuff, going through like the turbines and the big air conditioning system, freeze them. You jump through the
and I like that they're
turbine.
bringing what's his name, because I thought his character was pretty interesting in what was that prequel movie they did?
Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One, where they have Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, Saul Guerrero.
Yeah, like it was cool to see that they're like he's like younger.
He's
so
younger, yes.
It was cool to see that character back because it was always like.
And they're gonna build it up too. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. I think that's a good way they're going with that. Because I wasn't a big fan of that movie per se, but I like that character, and I like that now they're able to like through a video game like tell more of the story. Because I feel like you're not gonna get another movie out of that would do anything with him. Maybe.
Well,
but
you know what though? That's sort of where I was leaning towards. Not that you're gonna get a movie out of this particular character, but just the way that they're building the Star Wars universe now. I feel like the Star Wars Jedi game is a good look into the future of the movies. Just the way it's gonna feel, the way it's gonna look. I just have that feeling that they're gonna go this direction with like, obviously more Jedi adventures, but not it's going to be the end of the Skywalker saga, so to speak. And you're going to be put into a world of all these new Jedi and new, villains and stuff, which is cool. I mean,
okay.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Just have it still be Star Wars, but let all the stories be different now. You know what I mean? So you're not going to be disappointing the traditional fans of Star Wars, the original films, who are like, oh, the new Solo movie sucked, or the new this character sucked, or what they did to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. I think a lot of that's going to be washed away when the Game of Thrones dudes do their... How did that work? They're giving Rian Johnson his own trilogy.
For who?
Of films for Star Wars.
Oh, yeah?
That's what I heard
several
times.
I haven't heard that.
Oh, okay. So that's what they're supposedly doing.
Because I know they're doing the Mandalorian, which is the series
yes,
coming out.
Which also
John
looks sick.
Favreau.
But go ahead.
Yeah, because I like the Mandalorian characters. I think it was the Knights of the Old Republic was where you really saw a lot of those guys, like the battle race kind of thing. And then I don't know. They were supposed to be doing other things, and I haven't heard much else as far as that.
Yeah, that Disney service that it's gonna be on looks sick. By the way,
I mean, they got a lot of stuff coming out.
A
lot of Marvel related stuff coming.
But Star Wars, go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, I just I don't know. I haven't heard anything else though. That's
so yeah, they're supposed to give Rian Johnson that trilogy.
Okay.
And then the guys from Game of Thrones are getting.
Yeah,
are they getting a trilogy as well?
I don't know. I don't think it's a trilogy. I think they were supposed to do like a show also, like a prequel of like I think how the whole like where it was winter. I think it's supposed to be like around that time where like winter had come so many eons ago or whatever. Like I think it's supposed to tell that story about how like the White Walkers came to be and that kind of thing.
No, I'm talking about Star Wars. Those guys were given Star Wars movies.
What?
Yes.
I didn't. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't hear about that either? Yeah, that's this whole thing. That's this whole thing.
Oh, that makes sense because I saw a lot of people online saying like I thought it was just like they're hot topics now and they could get the Star Wars.
Oh
but
no,
they were saying like don't let them ruin Star Wars like they ruined Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Because they were writing on.
But
like,
after the reaction from the Last Jedi, man, I mean, it could go any way.
Actually, speaking of the J.R. Martin, they have that new game, Elden Rings or something like that.
Elden Rings, yes.
That looks like they didn't really show anything as far as what it is. It's like a little. There's nothing to show, I guess, right now. They're just trying to like pipe it up that something's happening.
Yeah.
Elden Ring.
It was just a tease, I guess.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, I'm excited. I don't know what it's gonna be, but if he's penning it, it might be a decent tale. But
you hope. You hope. And then there's Blair Witch.
Dude, that game looks awesome. Like I remember I was like watching that trailer in bed. And like Karen was just like, "What do you watch right now?" I'm like, "You need to see this. you need to check out how creepy
it's
this
about
is."
Blair Witch.
Because I like scary stuff, and like, granted, it's not like I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to be like. I think you maybe go to the original movie, but it just seems like a creepy game. It's like a dude and his dog looking for like a lost kid.
The Bluebird team, the studio that brought you the terrifying games like Layers of Fear and Observer.
Ooh, layers, like an onion.
Peeling back layers.
I've got layers.
The old Shrek joke, right?
Do you see the last Oasis trailer?
I did not.
Dude, this game, it's so wacky. Like it looks like it's a lot of like sort of like war battle, but this part that I'm specifically interested in is like the way they started is it's like you're in a desert on this giant ship that has like these like wacky wheels, but like sails. But like the ship like spins oddly, so it almost looks like you're at sea, but on land because of the wheels. So the wind's moving you, and then all of a sudden they show like another one, and you're having like weird ship battles going on and stuff like that. And then it looked like there was hand-to-hand combat on the ground, which I'm not interested in any of that. I just want to see these wacky ships like they were like fighting each other like at sea.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing, and it's like the mechanics are so bizarre, but it looks like it's gonna be pretty cool.
But again, as long as they're telling new stories with new characters, and that's the exciting part of all these new games coming out. That, and I really like how they're integrating more real life actors into these things. It's gonna be cool, man. You saw Astral Chain at all?
Oh yeah, I did see that one. I forgot, like when you were mentioning they were cops, I just forgot that was the part.
So that's like Platinum Games. That's the Nier Automata designer guy.
Looks interesting. It looks like it could be a pretty cool fight 'em kind of game. I'm not sure how it's gonna play though, but it seems interesting.
It's some sort of like cop game where at least in the gameplay trailer that I was watching, they go to a crime scene and then they, through technology and this like futuristic, it's very futuristic. So they're wearing these helmets and all of a sudden they're looking at the crime happen in reverse and just walking over to different points of the crime scene and seeing.
I feel like that part
things that have transpired
escaped my mind watching it because all I remember seeing was they tell a story about how these things rose up and like were killing people, and then they have like a new technology that lets them like basically enslave them. So you get like a partner. So it's like you have like a robot partner that you just kind of like summon out of the blue.
Yeah.
And you fight stuff. So it just seemed more like a fighting kind of game. So I don't know if it's going to be like, that part that you were just describing completely like slipped my mind.
For some reason, that's what stuck in my mind. It was just very odd and futuristic, but it's like an anime look to it.
Yeah, it's definitely very wacky. They announced, what was that? I think it was at the bottom. What was it called? Of course, this is
Which company?
I forget. I literally just saw it a few seconds ago. Oh, it's gone now.
Well, they're talking about the new what you call it? Not Elder Scrolls. Well, that was what everyone was expecting.
Oh, Blades, yeah, garbage.
Yeah.
No. I'm not playing that crap. Like
the mobile game that they're porting to Switch.
No, they just what the hell was it? I'm forgetting now.
Baldur's Gate?
No. It's gone. Maybe it was another page.
Yeah, so Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out, and they're re-releasing for the Switch that package of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you're going to be able to... I mean, those are cool games.
Yeah.
They're hard in the beginning.
Yeah, it's definitely... Yeah, I feel like that game was definitely a bit tough.
I felt like I died 1,000 times when I first
played
started.
a bunch, and I liked it, but... I don't know. It wasn't really... I'm not looking forward to some of the games that are coming out, like not everything. But... yeah, it's cool. They had I had a Kickstarter that I kickstarted not too long ago.
Kickstarted the Kickstarter?
Kickstarted the Kickstarter, yeah. Called Starmancer, which I was showing you a little bit before.
You did show me that.
It's like almost like The Sims, where you're basically building a space station, and like you get people and you give them tasks, you design it. So it's completely, you start from like a square and you just kind of build out.
I like the look of it.
It looks very cool. To me, the graphics looked a little Final Fantasy Tactics like. When they were
I like
first
the art
showing
style,
up.
though.
Yeah, so I'm excited for how that's going to go. And it was nice to see, because they got picked up, I think, by Chucklefish. So I think it was during the PC gaming show.
Chucklefish.
They showed like a quick like little blurb for it. And they showed another one. I don't know if it was that one or the other one that like people probably didn't even watch, but the where you're like that blob creature attacking people. It's almost like a Metroidvania looking game.
Yeah.
You're like a crazy looking red blob just like murdering all these people, and like you grow. It looks like as you go through the ship.
That did look really
bizarre.
weird.
Yeah, I'm totally interested though. I don't know what it's about, but it seems like, because it's different to be like a villain or like a monster kind of thing. So I like that.
That's true. I feel like you're never the villain.
Yeah.
You're always the hero. No matter what.
I wonder if there's anything else. Oh, they finally showed that's what it was. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Because Vampire the Masquerade, I'd always heard good things. I actually finally bought it on Steam, but never played it yet. Like, it's like sitting there because like I watched like someone's video.
Was that originally a PC game?
Yeah, I believe it was originally a PC game. So now they're making like finally it's like I guess a long-awaited expansion or sequel, I should say. So that's cool. It's vampires, and it's very lore, very RPG, like a lot of dialogue. Like, it's just like you have different families of vampires and races. Like, I think in the original one, there was one where you almost look like the evil bat creature. Like, you don't look like a person, and that's like a special type of vampire race. So like you have to like kind of play in the shadows more and that. So it's very interesting. Like they make it
sounds
very
like my kind of game.
But it was cool. And they finally showed Shenmue 3. Finally.
Yeah.
Kickstarted that like years ago.
Years ago, yeah, I remember.
Now it's finally coming out.
He's been showing me email updates for this game for like years.
And they just stopped. I don't know. They like stopped for a while and did other things.
We're going back to Nintendo for a second.
Yeah, sure.
We failed to mention that the Link's Awakening.
Dude, yeah. I mean,
it looks like fun though.
So I'm like, now that I've seen more of it, I'm like in a mixed bag because I hate the way they made him look. He looks so stupid.
Oh yeah,
his fucking eye.
People like it though,
dude. It
with the black eyes.
No, it's dumb. I feel like most people don't like that.
There's been so many iterations of Link at this point though,
and all the monsters and like all that. Love it. It's very claymation looking to me, and I love that. Absolutely love that part. He, on the other hand, it sucks. Like you
don't like the sprite, huh?
No, he just man, it's like you're so close, but I don't know. You just left it as I get it's like cute and. I don't know.
People are going to buy the shit out of that game. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, I'll probably end up buying it, too. I love Link's Awakening. That was a great
Full disclosure, I'm buying it tomorrow.
I just don't like the way he looks. But, chances are you rarely see him anyway while you're playing. So, whatever.
Don't let me look at him. And they put out a special amiibo, and people were going nuts for the amiibo,
dude,
too.
They always do.
Going nuts for the amiibos. Gotta have it, bro. Gotta have it. I don't even know if I own an amiibo. Do I? Now that I'm thinking about it,
I have a few. Didn't I give you the? Did I give you one? Didn't I give you like Cloud or something?
Falcon, maybe.
No, I think. Didn't I give you Cloud? Or no?
No. You know what I have? I have the Star Wars ones from that set that Xbox, like one of the last Xbox 360 sets.
Okay, gotcha.
What is that game called? Skyland? Is it Skylanders?
That's its own thing.
No. Whatever the Star Wars equivalent to Skylanders was. But either way, that's all I have. I don't even have any amiibos.
Okay.
I'm amiibo-less.
Well,
but they're hard to find, though.
Again,
That's why people are scooping them up or are excited
they
about
are
it.
and they aren't. They come around over times. Like the new ones are always the hardest.
There's like waves, I feel like.
Let me see. What do we got? The back with retro. I was telling you before, Heroes of Might and Magic.
Oh, yeah.
Love those games. Now they got this Songs of Conquest. It wasn't really much of a... They didn't show any gameplay, per se. Just more like a quick little trailer. But, like, you saw
They show you what the screen looks like.
And how it would
right.
play. Because we played those games, so you get the idea. And, like, the host loved, apparently, Heroes of Might and Magic. So he was pretty excited to talk about it with the creator.
How it's like Heroes.
So that was kind of cool. Yeah, because he, like, I guess had experience playing. It was, like, one of his favorites. So, like, he had, like, good questions to ask. It was pretty interesting. I like the way they were going with it. And Val Faris is like a Metroidvania looking kind of game. Where
I didn't even hear about that one.
Yeah, that's a wacky looking one. It was. I think that was also on the PC gaming show. Like they had like 60 games that they like rapid fire put out, and that was definitely one of them. Did you catch the Square Enix presentation? I mean, obviously you saw Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, and I heard I didn't see the whole thing.
Okay, they what do you call it? Because most people were more excited for the new Marvel's Avengers game.
Yes.
And personally, I'm not as blown away by it that I expected. And I feel like there's a bunch of other people that are on the same boat. It looks good.
I'm more excited about the Ultimate Alliance 3.
Oh, I mean, that's going to be great. I've been a fan. It's like a decade since the last one came out, and it was fun. I think I did the 360. I had both of them, and they were great games. But it'll be nice to have another one, but it's for the Switch this time. So it'll be good to have that multiplayer. But the Avengers game...
I feel like that's the cliche thing that's on everyone's mind these days is, is it being ported to the Switch? Yeah, you know what I mean?
I know. That's all I'm about.
Because people are finally realizing that it's like, holy smokes, this little system's amazing, and it's not that powerful, but just the fact that you could take the damn thing out, walk away with it,
dude.
Leave your house, you got a handheld, you go home, you plug it in, it's on your TV. Brilliant. It's really brilliant. It really is. And you don't appreciate it until you start to play all these games, and it's like, wow, I could have Final Fantasy VII portable now. I can have The Witcher 3 all of a sudden, somehow.
Very true.
They managed to make that portable.
Yeah, that's the new announcement for that one. I'm shocked. And it's like the complete edition, like everything. I mean, I don't know. I have to try it out on my
I guarantee you they 100% find ways to cut back on the graphics and whatnot. But you know what?
With that, the game looks
good.
Exactly like I remember playing it.
Yeah, it looks good.
I got to check it out on my Pro, though, because I stopped playing for a bit. But now that I have a 4K TV, I'm curious.
I'm sure it's insane
how much better it looks.
I'm sure it's insane.
But it's going to look great on the Switch either way. I can't imagine. Like, what they showed, it looked perfect.
But it's pretty smart on Nintendo's part, too, because... when you're playing on that small of a screen, it doesn't matter. 720p is plenty. It really is. For 99% of these games look great when you're playing them in the handheld. So.
But anyway, just to go back to the Avengers game, like this was like a big deal to people. Like this was big hype for a while, and because it's like a Square Enix RPG almost ish game, and they come out with like a lot of character models that like I think a lot of people weren't thrilled with because like whether you're a comic fan or a movie fan, like it's like their interpretation of the characters.
Yeah.
So all these heroes look weird.
They did.
Ant-Man Captain America I think was the biggest complaint. Like who allowed
who's this man?
This one. But Ant-Man looked strange. Tony Stark had like a fro.
Did he?
Yeah, it was bizarre. And like some of the voice acting, like I'm not a huge fan of some of the people. Like the Thor one sounded kind of odd to me. Like it just didn't sound like I prefer like the original Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. They had like the dude that played Leonardo was the voice actor. Like that fit more to me in my opinion. Like he had that like heroic kind of, I don't know, just
he sold it.
It was weird. It's just one of those things where, and like they're showing where it's almost like they're parading their new like battle cruiser thing, and they get like a bunch of attacks going on. Someone tries to steal their energy storage, which ended up like messing up California. So they're like disbanded / outlawed, and then it's supposed to be like a 5-year later jump where now like Captain America seems to be dead, but they say you could play as him. So I don't know what the hell they're getting at with this. Like, is it just for story purpose? I don't know. But it's like now they need them because there's like a new threat 5 years later, and they're supposed to make it now. Like the cool announcement they said was like, anytime we add a new hero to play as, it's free. You're just gonna get it. So that's cool of them to like, get ahead of the whole loot box and etc. thing. But I don't know. It seemed underwhelming from what I was expecting from them, I guess. But maybe once more gets released, we'll find out. But
so in other news. While we're leaning towards wrapping up this cast, but dude, you know how they released the Castlevania collection for Switch? Okay, so they gave Contra the same treatment. They released a Contra Anniversary collection. So check out this list of games. I'm just going to read them off real quick.
Okay.
The Contra Arcade, okay, the original Contra Arcade, Super Contra.
Super Duper Contra.
Now, just Contra, North American and Japanese versions, Super C, Contra 3 Alien Wars, Contra Hardcore, Operation C, and Super Probotector Alien Rebels and Probotector.
Yeah, I don't know what those are.
It's basically a Contra game. If you play it, it's the same thing. So that's, let me see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 games that are all Contra and portable for the Switch.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you saw the trailer for the new Contra game. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, it looks like a Contra game, but it's 3D.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks
Rogue
very,
Core?
Yeah, very bizarre, right? Is that the one I'm thinking of where it was like people like it didn't seem like it was gonna be Contra until suddenly they were like Contra. Like,
exactly.
What? What do
exactly.
you mean? This is a Contra game?
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know what to make of it.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know because I guess we're a little more retro than we prefer. So maybe that's just weird to us. But
well, once you establish something and you take it in a totally different direction, people fly off the handle. It's like, what is this? How are you calling this?
Yeah.
Call it something else.
But I guess I don't know. They gotta go with the flow as far as like the new technology. Like they worked with what they had back when. So now, but I don't know.
Of course, it's also another situation of rebranding, and they know people. Contra's recognizable for people. I don't know, 25 and up. I guess you could say.
Okay.
25 and older.
Yeah, so now they got to make it like for the new generation,
the
new peeps.
I feel like they've been feeding our generation a lot, like 25 to 35 somethings.
Makes sense. No,
I mean,
because we're also the ones that are paying for things now. So I guess.
Well, we're also the ones that were around pretty much for all of gaming, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like if you include dudes and ladies who are around 45-ish,
and the
ladies are around 45-ish, like that goes back to like Atari, Super Graphics.
Yeah, true. Right, yeah.
That type of stuff. Pong, like
the beginnings.
That's the very beginning, but we're pretty much the beginning.
In the beginning, there was the
early to mid 80s is really the beginning of what was now commercial gaming. So we're being spoon fed a lot of this stuff. A lot of these indie games are very chip bit, like 16-bit looking things, 2.5D.
Right, which I'm a big fan of.
Oh, it's awesome, but I'm just saying, I think it's cool that a new generation. I've said this before, but I think it's cool that a new generation of kids now gets to sort of experience that
absolutely
same type of style, in a new way. So,
yeah.
Actually,
a few more Switch titles that I'm just now remembering too. The Resident Evil 5 and 6, they're bringing it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't.
They're just looking to fill up people's libraries,
which is fine. Like I like 5. A lot of people talk a lot of crap about both those games. I didn't play 6. I heard it was terrible, but I also heard a lot of bad things about 5. And while I get it's not exactly the traditional Resident Evil games, like Resident Evil 2 was very Resident Evil.
In and of itself, it was a good game.
The multiplayer, like I thought it was a great multiplayer game. Like we had a great time playing it. I played with a coworker. I played with another friend of ours. It was fun. It was a good job, I thought, for a game. Like it wasn't. I get people's complaints about the Resident Evil portion, but there was enough that I feel like it wasn't that big a deal. Like I feel like you got enough of it. Like the weird, like, and you had like Wesker being all crazy at the end as the boss. Like that was cool.
Well, they try to integrate it.
Did you ever play Last Remnant? Like I remember that RPG coming up for the 360.
Oh, you know what?
And I never
did. I didn't complete the game, but I played a bunch of it for 360.
Mm-hmm.
I went through this kick at one point where I was collecting RPGs for 360, just because they have the most replay value in general.
Because I remember that game came out around the same time that Lost Odyssey came out.
Yes.
Which was great. I remember I played like at least 3 discs of that game. I never beat it, but I got far. But Last Remnant was like the other one that I didn't hear too much about, and it's now remastered.
It's good. It's one of those cult classics now.
Really? I feel like I don't hear too many people talk about it.
Well, at least I've seen on a lot of my Twitter feed of people being excited about that. It's mostly the people who I know, traditionally play RPGs in general. So that's really who is excited about that. Like RPG heads and JRPG heads are the people excited for that one.
Oh,
it's only $20
I've
too.
been trying to like rack my brain what the hell the game was called. They had that Midnight Ghost Hunt or Midnight Ghost Hunt Party, something like that. Did you see that trailer? Where it looked like I guess it's like a haunted house sort of thing, and you have like a team of almost like Ghostbusters, but like more modern, like if you were like in like Call of Duty kind of thing.
Yeah.
With not proton packs, but it's like the equivalent. And I think that it's supposed to be like a like one person plays as like a ghost, or maybe it's multiple people. I'm not really 100% sure, but they hide in like inanimate objects in the house, and like the team goes in, and like half the game is you're trying to find it and kill the ghost before midnight, because then once midnight strikes, if any ghosts are left alive, all the ghosts return, and it becomes like the horror. Like you now have to like survive or get out of the house. It gets like crazy as far as
that's kind of cool.
And like the ghosts will be like knocking people out or like throwing objects. Like they come over like as like a suit of armor, and they start like chopping down. You have to like basically blast it away. That looked really like a weird but fun looking game.
Yeah.
And I like the whole that like someone takes turns being the ghost, because I feel like that's a lot of fun.
You saw that they're remastering that Ghostbusters game, right?
Yes. I mean, that wasn't an E3 thing though, right?
No, I don't know if they did include it anywhere. I heard about that before E3.
Yeah, I know it's coming out. And I played a bunch of that game and I loved it on the 360. So I'm excited to get a chance to play it again. Is it just PS4 though, or maybe
it might be Yeah, I think it's PS4 digital.
Okay.
I don't know if it's getting a physical release or not.
I don't think it's a Switch title though, is what I mean. So I think it's
definitely PS4 for sure.
But either way, like worth the pickup is. I hope it's a little bit on the cheap side, because it is like a remake of a game that's been out for a while. But that was almost like the unofficial movie sequel from the Ghostbusters 2, because it's like all the guys are back in.
Yeah.
And they did a good job. It was cool. I remember I liked seeing like Egon and all them like back in the fro, and you're like the fifth Ghostbuster in the team. It's cool. Like the
Winston,
new guy. You're like, you're not quite an intern, but it's like, all right, new guy.
Good stuff, man.
I think the last thing that I saw that it looks very cool. Called 12 Minutes. Did you?
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, so it just kind of looks like it's a husband and wife sitting at like a table, but it's like an over the view thing, and like it starts, I'm guessing, where it's the game's already been playing for a little bit, and he's just like, honey, like. I know that like someone's gonna come here and he's gonna hurt us, and it's because you killed your father, and like some like crazy shit that he just like drops, because it's supposed to be like, I guess the wife is just like having a nice day, and suddenly this shit, and she's like, why are you doing this to me? He's like, honey, I need you to tell me out with this, because this is gonna happen and I need to try and figure out what's going on. And basically some dude like breaks into the house and like ties you up. Like it's all these like messed up scenes that like you keep getting killed, and then you wake up like in the early afternoon, like about to have dinner with the wife. Like she comes in like, oh, you're home early. So it's like 12 minutes of gameplay, and you're trying to like advance. So it's it's very Groundhog Day, but cool. But it's only 12 minutes of that time, so it looks pretty interesting. That is weird. Yeah, it's very cool looking. I don't know when that's supposed to release. It's probably March.
Yeah, because why not?
But I'm excited. They've dude, this was a very good E3 as far as announcements for a lot of games.
And no PlayStation.
And no PlayStation to be, which, you know what, like they announced it last time that, you know, they did a few things. I think there's going to be another one in July, might be the next one. So, you know, and like, you know,
What,
Nintendo,
State of Play?
Yeah, the State of Play. Like, I think there's another one upcoming anyway. So, like, they don't necessarily to be here. I will say Xbox certainly capitalized on this, being that Sony was absent. I still think Nintendo won, but they had like a very big presentation where I feel like they were announcing a lot more, like Phantasy Star, etc.
Oh yeah,
So
they you could tell that there's going to be a lot more games, maybe even a lot more exclusives for
They're
Xbox.
trying. They have to try
they
something.
Are, yeah. And it starts with that Phantasy Star and Halo Infinite, and they'll see which way they go. But they got to deliver now.
That's true. Battletoads, etc.
Well, Battletoads isn't carrying nothing.
No, but it's still like a thing that's on the. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
People that own an Xbox are like getting thrown a bone, I guess.
Here's some Battletoads, guys.
Yeah, I'm just.
Don't get me wrong. I love my Battletoads, but
I'm mostly happy about the Secret of Mana thing, though. Like that. That's a game that like I really liked, and I love that they're redoing it. And the FF7
so cool.
thing. I know a lot of people are on that FF7, but it's totally worth it. The game looks great. I'm excited for what they.
I can't believe it's finally happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long but I'm also leery, like, has it been taking them this long to polish just this portion of the game? And it's going to take them like years to like fully,
right, the second part.
Like, that's what I'm a little concerned with, cuz like once it gets past here, but I don't know. Maybe they just were polishing this part and they've been going forward. I really can't tell.
Right? Imagine they were like, this is the full game.
Because I'm concerned that
there is no second installation.
Like, even though they expanded, I feel like it could also be like they just like beefed it up a little bit, but it's really still the first 5 hours of the game with like a little bit more content. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they said two Blu-rays worth of stuff, so that seems like a ton.
All right. I mean, imagine it was too short, and they were like,
"That's what I'm getting at, man." Like, oh yeah, no, it's 2 Blu-rays, but really, it's just crazy, big for like the little thing we did. I don't know. We'll see.
Right, and all that time, I feel like I don't know.
Yeah.
As amazing as it looks, are they setting up people for disappointment just because of the pure
I
hype?
don't know. I'm hoping not, though. But the back of my mind is like, remember Anthem, like remember what happened with like you're expecting greatness and then get like
fell on its face.
Fallout 76, like.
Oh my god!
Are you getting what you want, or you just get like a bag of crap? Like,
so you're bringing up a good point. So what do you think were the biggest flops of this year's E3?
I mean, the Fallout 76 is a nice announcement, but I feel like it's too little, too late. And I
Way
feel like
too little, too late.
Todd really did not like acknowledge. Like they're just like, oh, you the fans have made this good. Meanwhile, it's like, dude, like so many people.
Us the fans have been steaming from the ears.
Yeah, like you told, and like things are still broken. Like if the game is by no means working good, all I see is a list of. I think there's websites dedicated to just like all the glitches that have been going on. You can watch like hours and hours of YouTube videos of people just doing the ridiculous.
I've seen a lot of glitches with Days Gone as well.
Days Gone, yes, there is a bunch of glitches, but it's not as bad. They're like, to me, nothing game breaking. I did hear there was one that apparently like a mission couldn't be completed with that one, but like I've been like tweeting out all the ones I've been finding as I played through.
Yeah,
the game was great though, totally worth buying. I understand some people's concern that I feel like the game was a smaller studio that I think was like their first time at like a AAA game and kind of like went for like tried to deliver and went too far where they probably could have cut a little bit of the story. They kind of probably shortened it a little bit, and I don't know. I feel like they did a good job though. I have no complaints at all about the game. I've been enjoying even the glitches. Like they cracked me up. It's just like, well, I guess that just happened.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like all the stuff I've been seeing on my Twitter feed in terms of like people playing that game and doing the PS4 shares of the glitches. Mm-hmm. I've seen some funny stuff.
Yeah, man.
Like the motorcycle hit a guy and he just like shot the other direction, like in light speed.
So funny. I've had just a lot of wacky things. Like my dude, if I go for like a stealth kill, he'll just be like sitting sideways suddenly. Like he just goes like it's like the Matrix. Like he's running out of the wall, but it's stabbing a guy. Like yep, that just happened.
Zombie stabbings.
But either way, I hope you all had some favorites from the E3 and would like to let us know whether you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening to this podcast. You can feel free to go on the site, drop us a line, go on YouTube, add a comment. Of what
Yeah,
you thought
guys,
was
if
great,
you
what you
listen
didn't like.
on iTunes, don't forget it's on Spotify now. So it's
That's right.
if that's more convenient for you all, the
Yep,
new episodes will be on Spotify.
Yep, don't forget
going
if you
forward.
can like and subscribe, whether it's again for the podcast or on iTunes or even on YouTube. Just like I said, if you're enjoying the show, definitely give us a little bit of something.
A shout on
Little
IGs.
something. Yeah, we're also Twitter. We're always posting stuff randomly, so check us out at VG Boys, and we're doing the streaming too.
Doing the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we got to play more of World War Z. That was a
that
lot
was
of fun the other day.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That's been good. I don't know if anyone's checked that game out. It's very Left 4 Dead-ish, but they did a good job.
If you like multiplayer,
it's not like
good
a game
stuff,
that's
man.
Game of the Year or anything like that, but it's
no,
fun.
it's not
It's
groundbreaking,
fun
but it's
zombie
a hell of a
shooting
lot of
game
fun.
that does the whole zombie pile up into like a human pyramid to get up.
Yeah, zombie flooding.
It's cool.
Hell yeah. But either way, thanks for joining us once again.
Yep.
But mostly, don't be jealous. Peace, guys.
Are you just jealous? 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 Cause we're the VG Boys. Yeah. Are you just jealous? 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 Cause we're the VG Boys.